Welcome to Triumph IAS. It's a daily mains practice question and answer series. This program is exclusively designed for UPSC CSE aspirants. In this video discussion, we will discuss UPSC CSE mains previous 25-year questions. Question number 1. Write a critical note on the evolution and significance of the slogan Jai Jawan Jai Kisan. Let's start with the introduction of the answer. The slogan Jai Jawan Jai Kisan was given by Lal Bahadur Shastri during his prime ministership. Soon after Shastri took over the prime ministership of India, after Nehru's death, India was attacked by Pakistan in 1965. Also, India was suffering from drought year and huge shortage of food grains. Therefore, the slogan Jai Jawana Jai Kisan highlighted the significance of soldiers and peasants in the country. The main body of the answer should be Number 1. While the soldiers were securing the frontiers from her enemy, the peasants were struggling to provide nation with enough food grains. Therefore, the slogan Hail Soldier and Hail Farmer signified the national mood of the time. Number 2. India was surrounded by hostile neighbors on two fronts, i.e. China in the northeast and Pakistan in the northwest. Besides, the Cold War politics was further complicating the situation in the Indian subcontinent. Therefore, India needed to boost the morale of its soldiers and strengthened our armed forces. Hence the slogan Jai Jawan. Number 3. At the same time, India was facing twin droughts. Indian economy of the time was dominated by agriculture, and that too was at primitive stage. Green revolution was yet to come to India. Area under cultivation had remained more or less same while the population had increased significantly. Therefore, to feed such a huge population was a big challenge for the Indian peasants. Number 4. Besides, USA was consistently threatening to cancel the food aid provided under PL 480 program so as to weaken India's stand on Kashmir. This way, the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the nation was under threat. Conclusion of the answer is, therefore, it was necessary to boost the morale and confidence of farmers and to highlight their role in Indian state, hence the slogan Jai Kisan. Question number 2. Do you think that Constitution of India does not accept principle of strict separation of powers, rather it is based on the principle of checks and balances? Explain. Let's start with the introduction of the answer. The Indian Constitution is based on a delicate principle of limited separation of powers and checks and balances. This means that each organ of the government has a clear area of functioning. The main body of the answer should be Number 1. Thus, the Parliament is supreme in making laws and amending the Constitution. The executive is supreme in implementing them, while the judiciary is supreme in settling disputes and deciding whether the laws that have been made are in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution. Number 2. Despite such clear-cut division of power, the conflict between the Parliament and judiciary and executive and the judiciary has remained a recurrent theme in Indian politics. Number 3. According to the Constitution, there are three organs of government. These are the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. Number 4. The legislature refers to our elected representatives. The executive is a smaller group of people who are responsible for implementing laws and running the government. The judiciary refers to the system of courts in this country. The conclusion of the answer is, in order to prevent the misuse of power by any one branch of government, the Constitution says that each of these organs should exercise different powers. Through this, each organ acts as a check on the other organs of government, and this ensures the balance of power between all three. Question number 3. What are the salient features of inclusive growth? Has India been experiencing such a growth process? Analyze and suggest measures for inclusive growth. Let's start with the introduction of the answer. The agenda for inclusive growth was envisaged in the 11th plan document, which intended to achieve not only faster growth but a growth process which is inclusive of all sections of society. The main body of the answer should be: Number 1. Inclusive growth means economic growth that creates employment opportunities and helps in reducing poverty. It means having access to essential services in health and education by the poor. It includes providing equality of opportunity, empowering people through education and skill development. Number 2. It also encompasses a growth process that is environment-friendly growth, aims for good governance, and helps in creation of a gender-sensitive society. Number 3. Therefore, the essential characteristics of an inclusive growth are equity, stability, growth, sustainability, and participation. Number 4. The growth story of Indian economy has been remarkable in the recent years. But in terms of Human Development Index, India is lagging behind China, Sri Lanka, and many other African and Latin American countries. Number 5. The wealth of nation is concentrated in hands of few and a large section of population is subjected to abject poverty. Number 6. There is lack of essential services like standard health and education facilities in majority of the rural areas. Number 7. Therefore, it would not be wrong to argue that the current growth story of India is far from being inclusive. Government has launched many mega social sector schemes like Magrega, Jan Dhan Yojana, Ayushman Bharat, Saubhagya, Mudra, etc. to accelerate the growth process. Number 8. However, the implementation part of the government schemes must be improved. Government and all the stakeholders need to be more accountable to the efforts made by country in this regard. The conclusion of the answer is: government need to increase the expenditure of health and education. More and more efforts should be put on employment generation. Tax compliance should be increased. Timely and efficient delivery of services is a prerequisite to ensure inclusive growth in India.